Hello and welcome back to the Beginner Team Sonic LTS tutorial. Today's stage is Rail Canyon. Do you like grinding on rails while jamming to the music? If you do, this is the stage for you. This stage unfortunately doesn't have much fun movement, but at least the music is good. Let's dive in. Before we start, I'm going to explain how to go fast on rails. Whenever you're on a rail, pressing B will make your character do a little animation that will give you a little bit of speed. And the same animation occurs whenever you hold B and switch characters, which is way faster, and it's pretty much the main way to get to top speed. But be careful, this animation only gives you speed if you're below a certain speed threshold, or as I like to call it, the speed limit. To put it more simply, if you're already going fast, switching characters won't do anything. In most cases, 2 character switches will be enough to reach the speed limit, so there's pretty much no need to keep spamming character switches. Another important concept regarding rails is rail balancing. Whenever you're on a curved rail, you want to hold the stick towards the direction the rail is curving in. To give an example, this rail is curving to the left, so you'll see me hold all the way to the left on the stick. Rail balancing can be quite unintuitive, so I recommend just looking at my input display and seeing which angles I hold. Also remember to never rail switch when the rails are curved or when they're at different heights from one another. Rail switching can send you to your death very easily, so I recommend that you pretty much always rail switch on spots that you know you're safe to rail switch on. That about covers it for the basics. Now let's get on with the stage. Upon loading in, hold B and character switch 2 times. Rail switch to your right after hitting this booster and glide as Knuckles when you get to this downslope. You want to hold neutral stick while jumping off the rail to avoid rail switching, and hold forward immediately after. If you're scared of missing the rail, you can jump off his tails so that you can fly to save yourself. Land on the middle rail to hit this booster and remember to rail balance on these rails. Hitting these roadblocks will usually put you below the speed limit, so you want to character switch right before hitting them. Another strat you can do to save around half a second is to fly his tails to skip these springs. But this flight is surprisingly tight, so I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. There's a lot of different ways to go through this upcoming section. The fastest way is the light dash cancel to jump across the gap. One tip I have to set this up is to hit this spring as Knuckles and buffer a character switch to Sonic. That way you can light dash cancel straight to Tails upon landing. Another way is the mid-air kick across this gap. You technically don't have to build up any speed for this kick, but you need to be really confident in your angles and your jump timing. You can make this easier by building up a rocket accel, but you don't have much space to set it up, so it can be annoying. If none of these options above work for you, you can just fly over the gap, with this being the slowest alternative. Moving on, hit this left speed pad and continue along. Remember to balance on this rail and to character switch before hitting these roadblocks. Jump as Sonic after passing the third and last roadblock, and move to the rail on the right. Keep going until you reach this booster. Rail switch to the right as Tails after hitting it, skipping all those loops. Character switch to get to top speed and switch to Tails before hitting this spring. Fly to this platform and kick your way to the leftmost rail. Rail switch a little bit after passing this booster. Continue along the rails and use a tornado on this pole. A neat trick you can do is to cancel the tornado on these barrels, saving a little bit of time. Jump off the pole and take this light dash. With that out of the way, you've passed the stage's biggest challenge. The next 30 seconds will be simple rail grinding where you just sit back and relax. Just follow the path that I take on screen and look at my input display to know the angles I hold to balance properly on these rails. This rail switch can be tricky. I recommend rail switching at this exact spot, otherwise you might end up rail switching to your death. After passing this long balancing section, switch to Tails and fall down to skip this entire section. Land on the rightmost rail and jump to the pulley as Tails. Fly to this upper ledge and use Knuckles to glide up this fan. Here's a really cool strat you can do. If you glide as Knuckles right after hitting this booster, you can carry all the speed and glide way over these rails. You have a 4-frame window to jump, so it's pretty tight, but it's worth it in my opinion. Keep going and remember to character switch before hitting these roadblocks. Jump as Sonic as soon as you land on this rail to skip the spring, and homing attack into the rail. Jump over to the right to skip this short puzzle, and here you can get creative with this jump. The fastest option is the glide, but you can also homing attack as Sonic, jump as Tails in case you're afraid of missing the rail, or rail switch. Any of these strats are valid, so just pick one that you're comfortable with. Jump off this rail and keep grinding for a little longer, and you've reached the goal ring. Thank you for watching, and thank God that's over, man. I just want to go play Among Us. Bye-bye.